So after the absolutely disastrous interview with Axios' Jonathan Swan, which went insta-viral yesterday, even our clip, by the way, discussing the Axios interview, received nearly 600,000 views in the first 15 or so hours. We've never had a clip go viral this quickly. Donald Trump needed a gimme because that interview went so poorly. So he's down but not out. So what better opportunity is there for a safe softball interview for the president than to call into the sycophants at Fox and Friends on Fox News bright and early this morning? Well, it didn't go well. And because of all of the attention already on Donald Trump's interviews in general, thanks to that crazy, embarrassing, humiliating performance on Monday night with Axios, people are even seeing the Fox News interview barely had Trump holding it together. This was meant to be a softball interview for the president. And I want to look at some of the clips because of all the top issues right now that we are dealing with. They all came up during this interview. Trump on the wrong side, tragically, of every single one of these issues. I'm talking about coronavirus. I'm talking about opening schools, vote by mail, Trump's second term. This is a Fox interview, and it went tragically bad for Donald Trump. Let's get right into it. I predict you will be stunned and appalled. So to start with, Donald Trump was given a third opportunity to say, what are your priorities if you get a second term? And this is the third attempt from Donald Trump to answer this question, and he still could not name a single policy.
Mr. President, what is your second term agenda? What are your top priorities?
I want to take where we left. We had the greatest economy in the history of the world. We were better than any other country. We were better than we were ever. We never had anything like it. This country, 160 million people working. We've never had that before. We've never even come close to that. Best employment numbers, best unemployment numbers for African American, Asian American, women, Hispanic. Everybody, the best numbers we've ever had, the best stock market we've ever had, although we're coming very close right now. In fact, NASDAQ is already higher than that number. So a lot of good things are happening. That means to be jobs. What I want to do is take it from that point and then build it even better.
He still can't answer it. Donald Trump got one chance at this question during a town hall with Sean Hannity. What are your second term priorities? Named nothing. 2 weeks went by. Trump got a second chance during a phone interview with Sean Hannity, knowing that his first answer was terrible, got a second chance at the same question, still couldn't name a single second term policy. He now gets a third opportunity here and is unable to list any policy. He listed races and ethnicities, that's true, but unable to list any actual policy that would be a priority in the second term. Trump, once again, in his obsession to pretend that the country is back to normal despite another tragic 1,500 deaths from coronavirus yesterday, 1,470, something like that. Trump says schools should open now and kids are almost immune, which is, of course, not true.
What is the latest on your view of how these schools should reopen?
My view is the schools should open. This thing's going away. It will go away like things go away. And my view is that schools should be open. If you look at children are almost, and I would almost say definitely, but almost immune from this disease. So few. They've got stronger, hard to believe, I don't know how you feel about it, but they have much stronger immune systems than we do somehow for this.
Completely irresponsible. Kids are almost immune, and I would say definitely immune, he says. That's wrong. In fact, there's a recent study that found that there was a summer camp, I don't remember in which state, widely infected summer camp, and they grouped the infections by age bracket. The younger the kids, the more likely they were to be infected and carrying coronavirus. So it's funny to even frame this question as what's your latest view on this, Mr. President, because Trump has no idea. He's the last person who should be asked for his opinion on these matters, but he happens to get it completely wrong. They keep going on coronavirus, and Trump again cites without any evidence that by Election Day, coronavirus is going to be in really good shape. Brian Kilmeade presented Trump with the very real circumstances that a lot of older folks, the ones most at risk, are worried about voting in person in November. And Trump says, yeah, things are going to be really good by November. And of course, remember that Donald Trump said in March that our 15 cases would soon be zero. We are now about to hit 5 million cases in the next couple of days.
Looking at the pandemic, seniors and those with underlying conditions are most concerned about voting. They could be the most patriotic person in the world, but even your age bracket, Mr. President, they're concerned about going out in a crowded area, and it's legitimate. So having said that, what does the administration plan on doing to make it easier? More poll sites, clean teams, demanding more places in more areas, providing the financing to do that. So if we admit there's a pandemic and a hurdle, what do you plan on doing at it if mail-in voting makes you unsettled?
Brian, all of those things and more, but all of those things. And remember, November 3rd is a long way. That's a long way. The numbers are coming down very rapidly in Florida. They're coming down in California. They're coming down in Texas. They're coming down. Those three places shot up, and those numbers are coming down. So by the time we get there, we'll probably be in very good shape. But all of those things, cleanliness, they'll wear the mask, they'll do whatever they have to do, but they want to vote. We have people that really want to get out and vote. It's going to be very safe, but by November 3rd, that's, time-wise, that's eternity, frankly, as far as I'm concerned.
By the way, Trump says cases are down in Florida and California. We did a report on today's show already about why that is. Florida stopped testing on Thursday because of the upcoming hurricane, Isaias, and California admitted yesterday, that they've been underreporting cases for days, and Trump cites that as evidence that things are getting better. So that's wacky. Let's now go into vote by mail. The topic is the post office. Somehow, Hillary Clinton becomes the topic. Hillary Clinton accuses Trump of sabotaging the post office, or sabotaging. I know some people prefer that, which they obviously are doing. Like, there's no question that when Trump appoints Louis DeJoy to run the post office as postmaster general, the idea is sabotage the post office. And Trump doesn't deny it. He just attacks Hillary.
Mr. President, thank you for joining us. You mentioned the Postal Service. Well, your former opponent is out of the woods, or tweeting from the woods, and this is part of what she said about the Postal Service and your treatment of it. Hillary Clinton tweeting this: I fear Republican sabotage of the U.S. Postal Service, including slowing mail delivery, is a Trump strategy to make voting by mail more difficult this fall. Request your ballots and return them as early as you can. Your response to Hillary Clinton accusing you of sabotaging the post office?
Well, first of all, remember the famous question when she asked me whether or not I accept the results of the election? She felt pretty confident until the end of that debate. And frankly, she was very strong. Would you accept the results of the election? Well, she didn't accept the results. She still has. She's living in a cocoon. And I guess people don't like her, or somebody doesn't like her, but she didn't do the job. She didn't do the job that she was supposed to do, and she should accept that. Now she continues to go on, and she's talking now about the Postal Service. Well, as you know, the Postal Service for 40 years has had big problems, and they're not equipped to handle a governor where they say millions of ballots, by the way, will be posted in a couple of weeks. Gear up. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. It's a very complex process. So Nevada, we're in court. We'll see how it works out. But if it doesn't work out, you're not going to know the November 3rd election results. I'm talking for the country. It could be for months and months. I mean, actually, it could be for years, because you'll never. They sent and they plan to send these ballots to everybody that's ever walked in the state of Nevada. It will be a disaster.
Did you sabotage the post office? Listen, Hillary hasn't accepted the results of 2016. People don't like Hillary. She didn't do the job. The Postal Service has big problems. They're not equipped to handle ballots. You might not know the results for years. None of that is true, but there's no denial there from Donald Trump that he's trying to sabotage the post office. Hillary conceded the election on election night. Trump keeps repeating she hasn't accepted the results. He hasn't accepted the results. He still thinks he didn't really lose the popular vote. She accepted the results on election night. The Postal Service would be completely equipped to deliver all of these ballots as long as Trump doesn't sabotage it. And of course, it wouldn't take years to know the election results, but Donald Trump does not deny that he's trying to sabotage the Postal Service, because he's trying to sabotage the Postal Service. Hillary Clinton is exactly right. Then the topic of the Republican National Convention comes up. Now, Trump already announced they're not going to do the RNC in person in Florida. It's just too dangerous. That's the right decision. Trump now says he might give his RNC speech from the White House lawn, which would be completely outrageous. That's a political event. You're not supposed to do political events at the White House. Trump doesn't care and listen to the reason he gives for doing it at the White House.
There are reports that you're considering possibly giving your convention acceptance speech from the White House lawn. What's the latest on what you'll be doing for the convention?
Well, we're thinking about it. It would be the easiest from the standpoint of security. You know, they move with a lot of people. It's a very expensive operation militarily and law enforcement-wise. The Secret Service is fantastic. But, you know, it's a big deal. And we're thinking about doing it from the White House because there's no movement. It's easy, and I think it's a beautiful setting, and we are thinking about that. It's certainly one of the alternatives. It's the easiest alternative. I think it's a beautiful alternative. I love the building. I'm there right now. I spend a lot of time here. A lot of people didn't spend as much time. I spend a lot of time here, and I like it. And I think it's a great place and greatly representative of our nation. So it would be by far the least expensive from the country standpoint, because it really is. It's a big deal when you get up and move all of this apparatus.
I really hope that you understand why this is crazy. Trump now says, you know, it's expensive to move me around, Secret Service, security, big mobilization, taxpayer money. So I might do the RNC speech at the White House lawn. Trump golfed 284 days so far during his presidency, and every time they do the full mobilization of Secret Service and of Trump staff, they rent every golf cart at Mar-a-Lago or wherever Trump golfs. It pours money into Trump's businesses. And now suddenly Trump is concerned with not wasting taxpayer money on moving him around. So he's going to give the speech from the White House lawn, which is not a place where political actions should be taking place. You should be doing a convention speech in a political setting, not on the White House lawn. But golfing 284 days is a fine reason to mobilize Secret Service. Trump doesn't want to spend your taxpayer money, though, going somewhere else for the convention speech. The guy can't even keep it together on Fox News. I was thinking last night and this morning, especially after seeing these clips, what's Fox News going to look like on election night if Donald Trump loses? And, you know, never mind that. What is Trump going to look like on election night if Trump loses? Fox News may be, you know, we've been covering Fox News from the perspective of its role in the right-wing media echo chamber for many years. What would be the impact on Fox News of a Donald Trump loss if one were to happen? I think it's an interesting question, and we'll have more clips and coverage of this bizarre Fox News interview on the David Pakman Show Instagram page. David Pakman Show, all one word, on Instagram. Follow us there. One of our sponsors is Cuts Clothing, and they're giving you 15% off of everything they offer when you go to davidpakman.com/cuts. That's CUTS. Cuts Clothing has completely changed the game when it comes to solid color t-shirts. Obviously, solid color t-shirts are an important staple in any wardrobe, which is all the more reason that you should be wearing t-shirts that you actually love. It really does impact your day-to-day. You've got your typical poorly made t-shirt. It's scratchy. It shrinks. The neck becomes all floppy. The color fades. It all starts to warp over time. None of that happens with Cuts Clothing. As soon as I first put on a t-shirt from Cuts Clothing, I could immediately tell the difference between this and the other poorly made shirts that I've owned in the past. And it's really a very noticeable level of quality and comfort and style, which I believe will change how you think about t-shirts. Go check out what they offer. They also have this new line of polo shirts. It's really more comfortable than any polo shirt I've ever worn. Cuts Clothing will be a total game changer when it comes to t-shirts. They're really the only t-shirt worth buying. And now they've got the polos. And you'll get 15% off when you go to davidpakman.com/cuts. That's davidpakman.com/CUTS.